All right, buckle up, because today we are diving into the pressure cooker that is the Singapore Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah.
This race is notorious for its brutal heat and humidity.
Yeah.
And this year's race, I mean, it really brought the drama both on and off the track.
It really is fascinating how these extreme conditions can really expose like the fine line between human endurance and just strategic gamesmanship in Formula One.
Totally. And nobody illustrated that better than Mercedes this year.
Right.
Remember that statement that came out saying that Hamilton and Russell were just too unwell to speak to the media after the race?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're unpacking that. We're going to figure out what really went down, digging into driver health, team tactics, and maybe even a little inter-team rivalry.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, so we've got some juicy excerpts from an express.co.uk article.
Okay.
And trust me, it gets interesting.
Oh, this is going to be good.
So to kind of set the scene,
yeah.
remember George Russell's comment about the cockpit feeling like a sauna?
Oh, yeah. How can you forget that one?
That should really give you an idea of what we're dealing with here.
A sauna while wrestling a high-performance machine at breakneck speeds.
Yeah.
I'd say that qualifies as demanding.
Just a tad, just a little bit.
And, and we're just scratching the surface here.
Right.
Imagine the kind of toll that takes on your body, especially when you factor in the fire-resistant suits and helmets.
Oh my gosh.
These guys are practically cooking in their own sweat.
Okay, that's a visual I was not prepared for. So we've got this extreme heat that's just pushing the limits of human endurance.
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, neither Hamilton nor Russell had a particularly good race.
No, not at all.
Russell grappled with the car's performance all night, while Lewis Hamilton, he found himself disagreeing with team strategy, which ultimately cost him some positions.
Yeah.
Not exactly a recipe for a cheery post-race debrief, right?
Not at all.
And then, boom, they both skip media appearances.
Yeah.
Citing health concerns. Cue the Mercedes PR machine.
Right, right. And their statements sort of hinted at potential heat stroke.
Oh, wow.
Even mentioning the need for medical attention.
Really?
I know. And then Toto Wolff jumps in claiming that they were borderline heat stroke.
What?
I mean, talk about sending shockwaves through the paddock. I mean, that's huge.
Okay, so now we're in serious territory.
Yeah.
But then James Allison, Mercedes technical director, kind of steps in with a slightly different take.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting. Allison focuses on the car's technical struggles in the heat.
Okay.
Specifically how it impacted tire management.
Wait, hold up. Back up a second.
Okay.
Before we jump into the technical side.
Yeah.
I need to know more about this tire management issue.
Sure.
For those of us who haven't spent hundreds of hours analyzing F1 telemetry.
Right.
What's the connection between scorching temperatures and tires?
You're right. We can't gloss over that.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the tires getting hot.
Okay.
Although that's a factor, hot air is actually less dense, which reduces downforce, making the car less stable.
Okay.
Then you have the tire compounds themselves. They're designed to work in specific temperature ranges.
Right.
Extreme heat, like in Singapore, can push them outside their optimal window. Suddenly they become unpredictable, graining, or wearing faster. Yeah.
Forcing drivers to manage their pace instead of pushing to the limit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never even thought about it that way.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
So it's not just about the drivers feeling the heat, it's about the cars feeling the heat too.
Absolutely.
And that adds a whole other layer of complexity to an already intense situation.
Absolutely. And going back to Allison,
Okay.
while he acknowledges that the drivers felt the heat, he does downplay it, claiming they bounced back quickly with some cold therapy and rehydration.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like he's subtly shifting the narrative from, like, a driver health crisis to a technical challenge that Mercedes maybe, didn't quite nail.
So now we're not just talking about physical endurance anymore.
Right.
But also how these teams adapt to these absolutely extreme conditions.
Right.
Did Mercedes drop the ball here?
Were their rivals better prepared? I can see how this would feed right into just the psychological warfare that seems to permeate Formula One.
Precisely. And speaking of psychological warfare, enter Lando Norris.
Oh, yes, Lando never wanted to shy away from stirring the pot.
Never.
He practically scoffed at Mercedes' health update, didn't he?
He did.
Implying they were, shall we say, embellishing a tad.
Yeah, he didn't mince words, that's for sure.
Okay.
Norris basically said, look, everyone's battling the heat out there, which is true.
Yeah.
But his comments also kind of hint at this broader F1 truth.
Okay. I'm hooked. What's the broader truth?
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Drivers are conditioned to downplay discomfort.
Right.
These guys, they're wired to push their limits.
Yeah.
Admitting weakness, even if it's genuine, can be seen as a strategic disadvantage.
Yeah, totally.
So Norris, whether intentionally or not,
Yeah.
kind of tacked into that unspoken code.
So is this a case of Mercedes being naive, thinking they could just be transparent about their struggles?
Yeah.
Or did they miscalculate how their honesty would be perceived in the cutthroat world of Formula One?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's a question with implications that extend far beyond a single race.
Right.
Even if a whiff of doubt surrounds a team's explanation,
Yeah.
it can be weaponized by rivals,
Yeah.
it can be used to sow discord or even influence future decisions.
It's like you said earlier, a game of chess with incredibly high stakes.
Exactly.
But this also makes me think, could there be a flip side to this?
Oh, absolutely.
Could a team use this health card strategically?
Now you're thinking like a true strategist.
Okay. It's not unheard of in F1 to play mind games.
Right.
Even if it involves like exaggerating circumstances to gain a competitive edge.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Remember what?
You can't just leave me hanging like that.
Oh, all right. All right. No more cliffhangers.
You were about to drop some serious F1 history about mind games.
Oh yeah. But think back to a few seasons ago when a certain driver, let's just say his name rhymes with Shumi,
Okay.
conveniently complained about his car's handling during a qualifying session.
Interesting.
Yeah, it raised some eyebrows,
I bet.
sparked some investigations, but ultimately
Yeah.
gave his team valuable data and potentially disrupted his rival strategy.
Really?
Coincidence? Maybe.
Wow.
But in a sport where milliseconds matter,
Right.
perception can be just as powerful as reality. Wow, so we've gone from drivers pushing their physical limits in a sauna-like cockpit
Right.
to teams potentially using those struggles as pawns in a much larger game.
It's all connected.
This is like, it's almost Shakespearean.
Oh, absolutely.
The drama, the intrigue, it's crazy.
And just like a good play, it leaves us questioning everything.
Right, so was Mercedes' statement a genuine concern that was blown out of proportion?
Right.
A clever tactic to just completely unsettle the competition?
Who knows?
Or, and this is the really interesting part, maybe a little bit of both.
It could be. It very well could be.
My head is spinning.
Yeah.
This deep dive has taken some serious twists and turns.
It really has.
So where does this leave us?
Right.
What are we supposed to make of all of this?
Well, and that, my friend, is the beauty of it. We've explored the extraordinary demands placed on these athletes.
Yeah.
The razor-thin margins that separate victory from defeat.
Totally.
And just the ever-present psychological battle that unfolds both on and off the track.
Right.
But ultimately, it's up to you to decide what to believe.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to look at a post-race interview the same way again.
Right.
Every cough, every grimace,
Every word.
every carefully chosen word could be part of a grander strategy.
Absolutely. You got to read between the lines.
Consider me thoroughly mind-blown.
That's what we like to hear.
Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, absolutely.
And until next time, keep your helmets on, keep your skepticism sharp,
Oh, yeah.
and we'll catch you all on the next deep dive.